Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey of the Crochet Crowd, and today we're going to do the Crochet Pleated Pillow just like you see. This is really not a hard pattern in order to follow, and we're going to go through step by step. It's a little bit labor intensive, and you're going to see to yourself that you're going to have some really cool looking pillows by the end of this video today. We're going to be starting off with the very dense interior that you will see. I will give a tip on being able to show you how to hide the slip stitch line very easily here. I did it the way that it's written, but I can show you a little tip in order to avoid that. And then what's going to happen is that we're going to create these little sunshine shapes, and then we're going to be using that in order to create what you see in the pillow. So today I'm going to be using Bernat Maker Home Deck yarn. I'm going to be using the color I think it's called Clay, and this is what it looks like today. And I'm gonna be using that because it's a little easier. It's not as fluffy as the Bernat Velvet, but Bernat Velvet in this is really quite amazing. So I want you to be able to see the stitches, and I am gonna be using a 6mm size J crochet hook in order to play. So today's pattern is a 2-pager. Uh-oh, no crochet diagram. What are we gonna possibly do? We're gonna actually read the instructions and work it out step by step as we go today. Now behind the scenes that I've worked on rows number 1 through 4 already, and I'm gonna be playing in real time in order to understand these instructions as we go. So by the end of it we should have a great pillow to go. If not, I got my hotline over to Yarnspirations if I have any questions for the designers. So that's it for now. So let's get started. Enough chitter chatter. Let's get at her. Let's get our 6mm size J crochet hook in order to play. Bernat Velvet is the suggested yarn, but of course you can use any yarn that you wish. So let's get started. So as we get started today, we're going to create a center ring that is going to go around just like this, and then we're going to be adding popcorns in the next round from that, and then adding even more popcorns. So you're going to see that the center is very intense. It almost reminds me of the center of a sunflower, and maybe even if you colored your pillow in this sense, it could be like a 3-dimensional sunflower pillow too. So what we're going to do is that we're going to get started. I'm going to show you how to cheat a system. Even though it's technically accurate for how it's written, I'm going to show you something because this happens to me on my texture stuff too. So let's begin. We're going to just start off with a slip knot. This is classified as an easy level. I think it probably is too, but we'll figure it out as we go. So we're going to start off and we're going to chain a total of 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And take your hook and insert it into the beginning chain like so, and then yarning over and pulling it through and through. Now when you go to the next round, I want you to take the straggler and pretend that it's part of the round and get it stuck underneath so you don't have to use a tapestry needle later. So let's now move on to the first round. So let's begin round number 1. We want to chain up 1 and put 10 single crochets in the center of that ring. So just going right into the center, yarning over, pulling it through, and then pull through 2, and that's a single crochet. So keeping that straggler around the outside of the ring, you can hide it. So that was 1. So let's count out 10 together. So let's go for number 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now if you're not sure or you lost count, you can just count back from the hook in order to find the first one. So just starting right from the one that's just before the loop here. So count back 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 10th one is where you want to slip stitch in order to finish the first round. So just insert into the first stitch and pull through and through, and that will conclude that. Now because you buried in the straggler, what I would recommend, get it out of your hair now. Let's just cut that now, get it out, and then we don't have to ever worry about that again. So let's continue then to second round. Now popcorns, when you go to start them for the first time, I have this in the study of textures as well, is that sometimes the first popcorn, the beginning popcorn, never looks right. Here's what I'm gonna suggest to you. I'm gonna show you the way that it's written because it's technically right. So it says to chain 3 and then put 3 other double crochets into that same stitch that you did the join. So let's count those. So this is 2, sorry that was 1, 2, and 3. Now the beginning chain of 3 counts as the first one, but it never seems to look right. So when you go to drop it and you go into the top of the first chain 3 and pick it up and pull it back through, it always looks like it doesn't belong. So what I'm gonna recommend to you, and this is the whole point of a tutorial today, to show you cheating techniques when there's opportunities to do so. What I'd recommend to you, and don't you dare count it as a stitch, I want you just to chain 2 and that'll build it up. Then put just immediately 4 double crochets in that beginning one. So that chaining 2 is completely cheating the system, and you will find that it will look more complete when you're getting all the way around. So just putting in 4 double crochets in the first one. Now what you want to do is take the loop off the hook and go to the first one of the grouping of 4. Don't worry about that chain 2, that's just a filler. So you're just gonna go into the first one of the 4 and then pick up the loop and pull it through like that. Now you're gonna chain 1 and then go into the very next one and put another popcorn. So there's always gonna be 4 double crochet in each stitch that will make up a popcorn. So we're gonna count to 4, and when you get your 4 in, I want you just to take the loop off, go in the beginning one, loop it and pull through, and then chain 1 and go and do the next one. So if there's 10 single crochets here, how many popcorns should you have if every stitch gets a popcorn? That's right, 10 popcorn. So what I want you to do is go all the way around and make sure that you have 10 popcorn for me, and I'll show you how to finish this round, and then we'll move on to round number 3 together. So just popping it through, chain 1 and moving on. So you can see a beautiful texture is now starting to appear. So please do round number 2. I'll see you back here in just a moment. So just coming all the way back around on round number 2, you should have 10 popcorn. You should be able to count those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So once you do that, you want to insert it into the beginning popcorn. So to begin to identify that, see this thing here, right here, that is the popcorn. This is a chain 1 space. So this is the popcorn, that's the chain 1 space, and you need to identify that in the next round really quite clearly. So we want to join it to the top of the first popcorn that you have. So let's begin round number 3. So in round number 3, what we want to do is let's just chain 2. Let's do the cheating technique just to build it up, and in the same when you did the slip stitch, I want you to put in 4 double crochet to start another round of popcorns. Here we go, right? Just like that. So you got your 4 in there, drop it, pick up the 4th one away, pick it back up, and then chain 1 after that. So your next one is gonna be in a chain 1 space. So then the one after that is in the top of the popcorn, and then chain 1 space, and then a top of a popcorn. So you're gonna do that all the way around. So what's gonna happen in here, you're gonna multiply your popcorns now, so that instead of 10 you will see 20. So going in the next chain 1 space, we're gonna put in your 4 double crochets to begin that. Pull through, chain 1, and then go to the popcorn. So if you need to, just pull it, and you can see this loop hole show, and that's the top of the popcorn, and so you'll put another 4 in there and continue that all the way around. So please do number 3 right for me now, and then we'll pick up on round number 4 together. So I'm just coming all the way around on round number 3, and I've just done my chain 1, and I'm in the last space here, and I'm going to join to the top of the beginning popcorn. If you can't see it, just kind of reef on it a little bit so that you can see it, and then just join it in. And then we're gonna begin some fun stuff. And remember that I've showed you now what the top of a popcorn looks like. So it's got that loopy thing, and what a space looks like, and you're gonna need to know that then for round number 4. So let's continue to round number 4. So let's begin to round number 4. Now I've identified to you twice now what the space is in between a popcorn and what is the top of the popcorn. That's the top of a popcorn, you see it. So now what we're going to do in this round is that we're gonna do an expansion round using single crochet. So we're gonna chain up 1 and put 1 single crochet in the top of the first popcorn. Then we're gonna go into the next chain 1 space, so right next space, and put 1 single crochet, and in the next popcorn you're going to put 1 single crochet. So that was 3 single crochets by itself, and now the next one, the next stitch to you, which happens to be a chain 1, there's gonna be 2 single crochets there. So if you remember that there's 3, that's how you do 3. So 3 single crochets by themselves, and then 2 into the next. So after you get the space, make sure you start in the next popcorn. So it's gonna be 1, 2 and 3, and then the next one here is going to get 2. If your counts are right, the very last stitch that you will do will have 2 single crochets. Please do that all the way around. Here's a review. So we got 1, 2 and 3, and then 2 into the next, and please do that all the way around. So coming into the end of round number 4, the last space there has 2 single crochets in it, and please join it to the beginning. So round number 5 is gonna be a fun round. It's gonna be something you may have never done in your life. I know I haven't done it either. And what we're going to do is that we're gonna create these spiky things like you see here, and this is what's gonna create the pleating that you'll see coming in the future. Let's move on to round number 5. It's gonna be a slow round for you to get started, but once you get it going, then I think you'll be good to go. So let's try round number 5. So let's get started on round number 5. I'm gonna tell you a count that doesn't make sense to the pattern, but it's because I want you to see it a little bit different way. It's the same thing, I just want you to see it. I'm gonna tell you the way the designer wants you to see it. So they're gonna tell you to chain 7 immediately. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the instructions say do 1 single crochet in from the second chain from the hook. So turn it around and get the back hump of that chain. So that was 1. And they say to crochet the other 5 chains that are left. This is what I would do. Once you get your 7, just immediately know that you're starting in the second chain and start counting, and it will be 6 single crochets. So it'll be 1 and 2, 3, 4. It's gonna be slow going, so I'm not gonna deny that. It's an amazing pillow. And the 5th one is right here. So 5 and 6. Once you have your 6, okay, that is this one. You see how it's coming out of that stitch? So you're gonna slip stitch in the next one and immediately single crochet in the next one and start that again. So all you're just gonna do is chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then second chain from the hook, start counting back, and there's 6 in a row. So if you have a nice looser chain, it's easier to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5 and 6. If you can identify that that 6th one is right where it is, do you see that? You don't need to count. So just slip stitch in the next one and single crochet in the next one and start one more time and keep doing that. So you're gonna have a total of 25 of these going all the way around. So let's just show one more time. So 7, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back hump of the chain coming back down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and see where the 6th one is. So I can stop counting that because I can understand that that's where the last one is. Slip stitch in the next, single crochet in the next, and begin again. So it's gonna kinda curl up on you, but that's okay, and continue all the way around, and we will see at the end of round number 5. I'll see you back here in just a moment. So I'm just coming all the way back around, putting in my last one here, and then I'm just going to slip stitch to the beginning like so. So now what we're going to do is that you're going to see that there is 25 of these spokey things coming out. So make sure you have that. If there's only 24, if you ever do the other side of it, just make sure you only do 24. So just make sure that they match each other, so just in case you're going off in some way. So we're gonna go back to the pattern. Let's talk about a little bit about that, because we're gonna get ourselves started and then work your way out so that it's 18 inches. So here in the pattern we've just now finished off round number 5, so let's check that off. So we're going to then continue. Says proceed in stripe pattern. So what does that mean? So if you go back to page number 1 here, this is what the stripe pattern means. It means the first 6 rounds are color B, the next 2 rounds are A, the next 2 rounds are B. So basically it's 10 rounds complete. So it says to have you work so that you're making those the striping pattern work. So it's giving you this information right off the hop. So the first round we're gonna get ourselves established, and I want you to pay attention that at the end of the round we're gonna turn. So the next section of this whole pillow, we have to turn off the end of each round. So that means that we have to turn and go back the other direction. Round number 2 and 3 that you will see here are gonna be a repeat pattern. We gotta get ourselves started, and it says right here the first 3 rounds of the stripe pattern are complete. So that means that the first 3 rounds are using color B, as you see right here. Okay, so that means that there were 6 rounds, so that's 1, 2, 3. So then there's 3 more rounds of color B, and etc. So it wants you to keep then repeating then rounds number 2 and 3 until that it's about 18 inches in diameter. So what we're going to do is get ourselves started on round number 1, and this is the only time you're doing it, just to get yourself ready then to do the repeats of 2 and 3 as we go for the rest of this pillow. So I just finished up round number 5, and all I'm just going to do then is just take this yarn and I'm going to start the striping pattern. So I'm not gonna do all of it to 18 inches for you because it's a repeat of 2 rows once we get going, but we need to do the first row that is going to be the foundation to get us ourselves started, and then from there we have to do that. One thing you need to keep in mind is that we are going to be doing a turn after the end of each of the rounds, so when you get all the way around you just turn it around and then go back in the other direction, etc. So let's begin round number 1, the first round, and I'm gonna be using a different color just to illustrate this, and you can too. So I'm just gonna start off with a new color. You can decide to use the same color, it's up to you, and we want to pick up where we ended. So what we have to pay attention to is each one of these has 6 stitches going up. So you see it? Because you went in the back loop, you can see the stitches really quite prettily on each side. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the 6th one here, the one that's on the very top, so it's a space that is existing, you're going to put in a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then come down and do the other 6 coming down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once you get to the 6th one here, you immediately start and you go to the next one. So go 6 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in the top, just on the side of the double single crochet is single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then come down the remaining 6. If you're not sure where to start after you do the top, look for the base here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one here is the one that you'll start in order to go down. So let's begin to do that. So we're gonna start off in the first one. I'm gonna show you a single crochet, standing single crochet. Come to the first one of the 6 that will go up. Okay, so it's just in the side. Let me get myself orientated here and then pull through. So if you pull through, have 2 loops, pull through 2, that's a standing single crochet. So you're gonna go up 6. So that was 1, and then go to the next one, and 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna let the straggler go back. So this is 5 and 6. And once you get the 6th one in, you're gonna go up over the peak of this. So you're gonna go in the side of the single crochet. So just kind of just guess where it is. So you're gonna go in and you're going to single crochet, chain 1. I don't know why I'm dropping these stitches. Chain 1 and single crochet in. So that's the very peak. Now you're gonna come down the other side. So the remaining 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Do you see that? So you're just gonna go down 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you start on the next one going up. So right here. Okay, so you're just gonna go in. So start up 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then the top peak. Okay, you're gonna put in a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then come down 6 on the other side of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's all you gotta do for this round. This is the first round and you're getting yourself started, and it will kind of look like a starfish by the time you've done this one. So let's do this, continuing around. I'll see you at the end of the round. So I'm coming up to the end of the first round, and I want to slip stitch to the beginning single crochet. That it was a standing single crochet, if you remember. So now what we need to do and remember is that we need to turn after each round. So we're just gonna turn our work and then go the opposite direction. So here's what we have to remember is that we want to grow out this particular one, and we're gonna use only the back loops, and this is gonna give texture now. So the fact is that we have, let's just separate something here. So we have exactly what we have, and it's going to be 6 single crochets that go up and 6 single crochets that go down. So up and down. That's gonna be like that for the remaining of this particular pillow. So what we have to do, if you remember, is that the last time we put in 6 single crochets, single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet 6 going down. That will make it that there are 7 single crochets going up and down. So in order to keep it only 6, we have to skip the 2 at the bottom. So we're just gonna immediately go down until we get 6 and then just jump over and start the other one. So let's begin to do the second round. So let's start up and let's begin. So when we turned, we want to skip the first single crochet that we're gonna run into and go to the second one up. Okay, it's kind of easy to be able to see that. See, this is the first, that's the second. And in the back loop only, we want a single crochet, only 6 going up. So 1, and that should take you to the top. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 takes you all the way, and the next one is the chain 1 space that's in the top. See how they're going into the same one? So in that space you're gonna do a single crochet, and this time it will be chain 2 and then single crochet back in. And then starting in the first one that's gonna go down, so the first one, just get the back loop only. It's kind of turning around in the back on me at this moment. So let me just turn it around so I can see it. Might be a little bit tight, but you don't want too much space on a pillow. So going 6 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So technically you're supposed to skip over 2 stitches, so this is the bottom 2. So 1 and 2 is the very bottom, and starting in the 3rd stitch you're gonna do 6 stitches going up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That takes you to the top one. You can see that you're in the top one there. See how they share the same base? And then you're gonna just, it's tight in there at this moment, so you're just gonna single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in that same space, and then starting in the very next one here, just turn it around because it seems to be wanting to do that, and go 6 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if you got 6 there, the 2 that are next are the very base. You see how they're split, so go to the 3rd one over and go up. So what's the difference between the 2nd and 3rd round? Nothing. The only difference is that it's right side or wrong side. So what I want you to do is complete round number 2, and you can see on the other side this is kind of what it's looking like at this moment. So continue then into round number 2. I'll see you at the end of this round. In this part of the tutorial I'm gonna pretend that I did all of round 2. It's all exactly the same. So round number 3 is exactly the same way. So what you have to do is when you get to the end of the round you have to turn around and then just continue up. So you have to skip the first single crochet and then go up the 6, and then in the top you have to single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then come down 6 and then skip over the 2 bottoms, and etc. So by doing the back loops only you're gonna see that there's ridging. So what occurred to me in the last round as I was working on it behind the scenes is that I noticed that there's really no growth to this thing, and I realized that it's the pleats that you've created is what's gonna create it to be able to expand out in order to fit around your pillow frame. So the nice thing about it is that you don't have to worry about increasing anymore. You just have to follow with what you already know. And then what you can do is that you get to about 18 inches. If you want to change the size of the pillow, of course you can just change the pillow frame or change how many rounds that you do. The other thing that you can do is that on the back of it, when you do the back panel, it says to switch out the colors. So for example, if I was to do the back, I would do the interior like this. I would do it in this color here and then switch it out. So you just have a completely opposite thing, and therefore you can use the amount of yarn equally. Once you have both of them done, you're just gonna put the 2 sides together. So the wrong sides, it's the interior without the texture, and all you're just gonna do is follow each one along and just sew them together, probably on the back loop as you're going all the way around. And when you do that, you want to make sure that you insert your pillow frame for obvious reasons. So it's a really neat concept. It's not a hard one. You know, when you think about how many petals there are and that you have to follow it, it's gonna be a little bit slow going, but the texture on this thing is really quite awesome, and I think that you can enjoy it at the same time. So just continue then to do second and third round. So every time you go around, you just have to turn it, go back in the other direction, and then just follow exactly what you already know. Have a good one. It's Mikey on behalf of Yarnspirations, as well as my friends over at the Crochet Crowd. So it's kind of backwards. That's it today. Have a good one. Bye bye.